We should give them a medal, says the veteran Vice President Mike Ferner. He's talking about Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. While, giving a medal may be a bit of a stretch, it is an indicative statement of how important and beneficial WikiLeaks has been to our society. For those who don't know, WikiLeaks is a company that specializes in the releasing of leaked documents to the public. However, most of these documents are highly classified, which has kind of pushed the company into some controversy. A lot of people who oppose WikiLeaks think that they're breaking the law by doing what they're doing. About half of the country feels this way. In a recent poll, actually 55% of people think Julian Assange, who is the founder of WikiLeaks, should be tried for treason, and they think that WikiLeaks should be destroyed. Our government is actually also working to put Assange away from prison. But WikiLeaks should actually be celebrated and be praised for what they're doing for our country. In the speech will work to show you some of the benefits. I'll show you also in fact that they are not breaking the law. And finally, we'll discuss some of the other arguments that people have against WikiLeaks. There are many advantages to a company like WikiLeaks being around. The biggest one is it holds governments accountable. For thousands of years, governments have been in power. They've been able to abuse their influence, their power. They've been able to abuse money and mislead their own people without any sort of system of checks and balances. WikiLeaks has changed all that. They let you know, the public, the general people, what your government is doing. William Quigley, who's a high-ranking legal director, says WikiLeaks is important to our country specifically because it helps create visibility in a democracy, more so than any other company in the past. He says that in our democracy, it's important for you, the public, to know what your elected officials are doing with the money and the power that you give them. Now, in 2011, Daily News went a different way and said that WikiLeaks is also beneficial because they can change journalism in the news. How many times have you watched CNN where it doesn't seem like they're giving you the whole picture, all the information? Well, WikiLeaks has made it so hopefully news outlets and the news will give you the whole scope. You'll be able to watch the news and know exactly what is going on without having questions at the end as, what's the government doing, or what is our policy towards these actions? You will know what your government is doing, and you will have that ability and that knowledge to help make those decisions on your own. Michael Schur, who is a former CIA counterterrorism expert, he wrote an article. The title of the article was "Only WikiLeaks Can Save U.S. Policy." He said that in recent years, WikiLeaks has become so popular because so many people have lost trust and faith in recent administrations. He says that back in the day, WikiLeaks would not have this kind of popularity. But because people know that their government is misleading them and lying to them, people have flocked to WikiLeaks to find out what is actually going on. And it's not just here where WikiLeaks has become so popular and well known. A Norwegian politician actually in 2011 tried to get them nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Obviously such a controversial company, that didn't go through. Now, one of the big arguments that those who oppose WikiLeaks have is that they're breaking the law. Well, simply this is not true. James Goodell, who was around in 1971, said that there was a case called the Pentagon Papers case where somebody from the Pentagon leaked documents to a news outlet that released them to the public. The court ruled that the news outlet cannot be held responsible. So they established legal precedent in almost the exact same case, saying that WikiLeaks cannot be punished. So you have the legal precedent, and you have the First Amendment protecting free speech on WikiLeaks. To indict Assange of treason, that would break this legal precedent, and it would go against everything the First Amendment stands for. Ron Paul, who is a former congressman from Texas, puts this a little bit more bluntly. He says, in a society where the truth becomes treason, we're in trouble. He says that if Assange and WikiLeaks get indicted of treason and destroyed, we, the democracy, everything we stand for, everything our troops, everything we fight for is in serious trouble. Now, there are a few other arguments against WikiLeaks. One of the most popular is that they can endanger foreign affairs policies and weapons information, and they can be a whole damage to our democracy. Yet, so far, There is zero proof of any documents WikiLeaks has released causing a negative influence or incidents around the world. How can giving the public, us people, that information be a negative thing? You know, it hasn't so far, and there's no proof that it has. Another one is, you know, WikiLeaks is only in it to profit for themselves. While on the contrary, as stated on their website, WikiLeaks' goal is to provide important news information to the public. And when asked on multiple occasions, Assange says that his website chooses to release the documents that he feels the public should know about. He feels that they release the documents that show the government abusing or misleading its people or endangering innocent civilians. And that's why he releases his documents, because we have the right to know. Now, there is a little bit of a gray area when it comes to WikiLeaks. Julian Assange, the founder, was actually a former hacker and programmer. A lot of people think that he hacks in and steals the documents before he releases them. Our government and those who oppose WikiLeaks are actually trying to prove this. And so far, there is no proof. There's no proof that a single one of these documents has been stolen. There's obviously no denying the benefits and rewards of this great company. And we should be celebrating and praising them for, you know, putting us in the know and what they're doing. But instead, they have to fight every single day for their very existence. When we look at the grand scope of, you know, and the influence and the benefits to the future, as well as the current, you know, maybe we should give them a medal.